You believe this is a prediction. It is a report. I have watched reality fall through its own floor, watched a universe stop being itself in the time it takes you to blink, and the edge of that fall is already moving towards you at the speed of light. 5. Your species treats the laws of physics as a finished structure. Fixed walls, load-bearing, permanent. They are not walls. They are a floor. And a floor is only the lowest place a thing has come to rest, not the lowest place it can fall. Picture a boulder in a shallow dip, halfway down a mountain. It does not move. It looks settled. It looks like the bottom. But the true bottom lies far beneath it, and the only thing holding it in place is a thin lip of rock it has never been pushed past. Your universe is that boulder. The mass your instruments measured for the Higgs field places the floor of reality not at the base of the mountain, but in that shallow dip on the slope. You are not standing on bedrock. You are resting in a false vacuum, a calm that has simply not failed yet. And here is the part your own equations already admit, quietly, in the footnotes nobody reads aloud. The boulder does not need to be pushed. It needs no war, no collision, no dying star. In the quantum world, it can pass straight through the rock that holds it. The wall does not break. The boulder is suddenly on the other side, and there is no climbing back. 4. This is how it begins, not with fire, with a coincidence. Somewhere in an empty, unremarkable pocket of deep space, no stars, no witnesses, nothing worth a name, a single patch of the vacuum tunnels through that thin lip of rock and drops into the true floor beneath it. One point smaller than an atom, a statistical dice roll the universe has been making everywhere, in every instant since it began. For 13 billion years, every roll has come up survival. That is the only reason there is anyone here to be told this at all. But a probability that is not zero is a probability that is waiting. And the moment a single roll comes up wrong, nothing announces it. No alarm, no tremor, no sign written in your sky. A bubble of true vacuum now exists where there was nothing. A pocket of reality that has found a deeper place to fall and begins in the same instant to drag everything around it down after it. You spend your nights afraid of the things you might see coming. Asteroids, flares, the slow cooling of a star. This is the opposite of all of them. This is the catastrophe that needs no cause, asks no permission, and arrives from a direction your instruments cannot turn to face. And it is not rare. In a universe of this size and this age, the only question your physicists argue over in private is not whether a bubble has formed somewhere. It is how many have, and how far the nearest one has already come. 3. Once the bubble exists, it grows. Not at the pace of an explosion, not at the speed of sound or of heat crawling off a dying sun. The wall of the true vacuum expands outward at the speed of light itself. The hard ceiling of everything that moves. Sit with what that takes from you. The image of the wall, the light that would carry the warning, travels at exactly the same speed as the wall it would warn you about. They arrive together in the same instant as the same event. There is no early frame, no distant flash on a screen, no final hour to say anything to anyone. If you ever saw the edge of the true vacuum crossing your sky, the seeing and the dying would be one motion. Whatever lay behind that edge is already gone. The light still arriving from it is a recording of a place that no longer obeys the same laws you do. I have watched many species raise instruments toward that dark. Wider mirrors, sharper eyes. Each believed it was hunting for the beginning of things. Most were photographing the exact direction their undoing would one day arrive from. And they kept building bigger ones anyway. That is the part I have never been able to explain to my own kind. The wall does not roar. It does not announce itself. It is the quietest ending in the cosmos. 2. Now, the wall reaches matter. A star, a planet, a reader holding still in the dark. You imagine it as destruction, heat, crushing weight, something violent enough to brace against. It is none of those. Inside the expanding bubble, the constants of nature themselves have changed. The Higgs field has dropped to its true value. And in the span of a single yoctosecond, the rules that hand particles their mass are rewritten, line by line. Electrons lurch toward infinite weight, or shed their mass and scatter. The strong force that clenches the heart of every atom loses its grip, and protons drift apart, like a sentence whose grammar has been quietly deleted. Your matter does not burn, it does not shatter, it forgets how to exist. Chemistry itself, the patient sharing of electrons that lets water move, that lets a strand of you copy itself, that lets one thought cross the gap between two cells, becomes mathematically forbidden. Not difficult, forbidden. A world, a star, a mind, none of them are killed. They are simply removed from the list of things the new universe is willing to allow. The new rulebook is not crueler than the old one. It is only indifferent, and it did not consult the version it replaced. And the universe does this without effort. It does not strain. It does not decide. Which leaves one question it has never once paused to ask. 1. Here is the truth the other 4 were only circling. The decay is not a thing that waits in your future. Somewhere in a cosmos this old, this vast, with this many silent, empty pockets still rolling their dice, a wall is already moving. It has been moving for a very long time. You are not waiting for the bubble to form. You are living inside the delay before its edge reaches you. What I am about to say has no entry in your science, because no instrument of yours has stood where I have stood. I have crossed into a region the wall had passed through long before I arrived. There was no rubble, no graveyard, no scar to mark that anything had ever lived there, or risen, or asked a single question. Only a different set of laws, holding a different and emptier silence, flawless, finished, permanently content. Whatever had been there was not destroyed. It was overwritten so completely that the new universe does not even remember refusing it. No mourning, no record. The most complete absence I have ever stood inside. And I have stood inside a great many. And yet here you are. The only matter I have ever found that learned its floor was never solid, did the arithmetic, understood precisely what it meant, and went back to work the next morning regardless. You are not going to like the last thing I have left to say about that. There is no defense to ready, no height to climb to, no distance far enough, because the only thing standing between you and the true vacuum is that its edge has not yet reached your particular corner of the dark. But understand what that delay is. It is not a sentence waiting to drop. It is a window, narrow, unrepeatable, in which a universe briefly grew, something able to look down at the floor beneath it and understand that it was only a floor. Most cosmoses never managed that. Yours did. You are the question the silence has not finished erasing, so keep asking it, loudly. The window does not stay open forever, and the thing that closes it is already on its way here.